Alabama beat Georgia again. 1-9 in their last 10 games, but Vegas always seems to make them the favorite when Alabama reaches inside of their rib cage and pulls their heart out. And that's what happened again in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's get into this. Why do we hype these dogs up? Why? Same old Bama, same old Georgia, same old result. Let's get the party started. Look who's back. Big Sexy All right, there he is, back to talk about the game. He was so distraught from the way that game went that he wouldn't come on the air yesterday, but now he's back again. Big Sexy Elmo. What's up, dude? Roll Tide.
Did you know that we beat the Georgia Bulldogs? It's great. Hey, let me tell you something. I love the game. Obviously, first half, Bama played about as well as I thought they could, obviously. Second half, Kirby Smart is very good at making second half adjustments. And it took a lot of fourth down conversions for them to even stay in the ball game. There's some things we need to clean up. But let me tell you something. I loved it. I loved it, man. I mean, it was a great day to be an Alabama fan.
Yeah, it really was, man. I mean, what a win for Alabama. And now they're number one. Did you see that? Number one in the AP poll, number two in the coaches. So Bama back where they belong. The board didn't get a lot of respect. And I think people are realizing that just because T-Rob, Tavarius Robinson, tried to be the Pied Piper of the secondary leaving, what was it, Trey Amos? Sorry to watch him get burnt so many times by Kentucky. And then, of course, T-Rob, I mean, you saw what happened in the first half of that Georgia game. Oh, and then you had a chance to win. Couldn't stop them, right? And then this young secondary, Xavier Brown, had the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, Xavier Brown came up big. Several players came up big. I loved how we used the tight end. CJ, that's such a big part. That's what Coach DeBoer was talking about yesterday in his press conference, and it was something that we'd talked about. I love to see the tight end being used. We have a big old strong tight end, man. Yeah. It opens up a lot of things, and he got some catches and got some big plays in, which opened up everything. But of course, you got to talk about Jalen Milroe, the SEC's Offensive Player of the Week, accounted for a career best 491 yards and 4 touchdowns, threw for a career high 374 yards and 2 scores. And how close to perfect was he? 27 of 33 passing. Recorded touchdown passes of 16 and 75 yards, eclipsed a 100-yard marker on the ground, 117 rushing yards, 16 carries, rushing scores of 7 of 36. Jalen Milroe in Vegas right now is the leader for the Heisman.
Yeah, and he should be. I mean, really, he should be. I think we're starting to see that this guy is the real deal, and I think a lot of people, even here, even Alabama fans, weren't sure what to think. But and I've said this before, Brett. I mean, I've been on the wagon since early last year. You can't sit there and say what he doesn't do. You got to say what he does do. But even the stuff that you said he couldn't do, he started to do. And if the offensive line just run block a little bit better, we beat these guys by 25 points, and it's not even a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was close to a skull dragging. And Kirby is thanking the good Lord above that he converted on 5 or 6 fourth down conversions. Because if they wouldn't have, not even close. but also accolades for the freshman of the week in the SEC, Ryan Williams.
What'd you think of that play, man? The Ryan Williams catch and then obviously the run that went with it. Where do you rank that as one of the great plays in Alabama football history?
Daniel Moore, you're going to be painting a lot of Ryan Williams in his career, I believe. He led the receiving corps again, a career high, 177 yards and a touchdown. He made basically a highlight reel for ESPN. The 75-yard score there at the end. But then also special teams. He added a punt return, a couple of kickoff returns. I mean, look, I know people are tired of hearing about it. Yeah, he's 17 years old. But let me tell you something. This guy is the real deal, and it amazes me. He's 17 years old and doing what he does.
I mean, I think that's all of us right now. I think we're all looking at this.
It just amazes me because, the circus catch where he bounced it up in the air a couple of times, made the catch. Look, the crowd was electric. A lot of celebrities in the audience. They did not let that get to them. They were zoned in. This is definitely, the signature win for Coach DeBoer early in his first year.
Right. And I think that's the whole point of this. That we let the Paul Feinbaums and the media types, bury Alabama. And Bama was never buried. They went out and they used the transfer portal to build back some of the guys they lost. They go out and they've transferred true freshman players that probably wouldn't have played a lot with Nick Saban into guys that are learning and doing the job they had to in the quarterback spot, the cornerback spot, and then obviously Ryan Williams has made himself on the field. You couldn't have kept him off. And I would have been curious to see if it would have been a situation like we had with Tua, where, you kept hearing about how good he was in practice and Saban obviously didn't want to go away from Hurts. It's obviously receivers different, but this guy's been a playmaker since the beginning of the year. Kalen DeBoer and his staff couldn't have done a better job of working him in. Now, what does this win mean for Bama moving forward?
I believe that we got to take a look at how we respond on the road. I know it's Vanderbilt. I know that. It's, a very lesser opponent, but we got to stay focused, man, because it really, and Mick, you and I had talked about this off the air several times. It was like, what if we beat Georgia? We've got the whole, thing ahead of us here. And there's going to be some tough games. We've got Tennessee. We have LSU. We have Oklahoma on the road. We still have Auburn. I mean, Auburn, as terrible as they seem to be, it's always an Iron Bowl, and you throw out the record. Yeah, you just do. But I like where we are now, obviously. Being ranked number one, I didn't think that was going to happen. We talked about it on the post game the other night. I didn't think that would happen, but because you always have that target on your back. But in hindsight, you're Alabama. You always have a target on your back, even if you're number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You're always going to have that target on your back because you are Alabama.
That's right. Well, Vandy, this week we will take the Tailgate show with our friend Jay Coker. We may have some other special guests there. I'm going to throw that out there. Maybe a little Ryan Anderson action showing up. We'll see. Maybe a guy that came in second on American Idol. We'll see. We got a lot of people that might swing by, including you, Big Sexy Elmo, this Friday to record the Tailgate show from 1 to 4 at Live Oak Bar, Music City. We're going to Music City. We're going to Music Row in Music City.
Oh, yeah. This is going to feel like home to me. Hey, another thing I want to mention before we move on, and I don't know if I want to get into this or not, but it was brought up to Nate Oates today. You know, basketball's right around the corner. And did you see where we had talked about Kalen DeBoer? What is his NFL aspirations?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. It was asked today or yesterday about Nate Oates wanting to jump to the NBA. He joined a podcast, College Hoops Today, and he said that he admitted that it had crossed his mind to go to the NBA, but he's happy in Tuscaloosa. He said, the NBA intrigues me for sure. Training camps open this week in the NBA. Our staff's going to split up around the country and learn different concepts to bring back. He says, but I've got 3 daughters. I think college coaching lifestyle makes it more conducive to being a good father. You're not on the road like you are all the time in the NBA. I'm happy where I am right now.
Yeah.
We love it at Alabama, and he goes on to say, I'm going to continue to study the NBA, but we love it here right now. What does that tell you?
I think both of those guys will end up in the NBA and the professional sports, NFL and NBA. You and I talked to Kalen DeBoer, and I thought the most telling thing of the entire interview is you asked him about Waffle House, and he was like, well, man, I have to eat it while I have to go check it out while we're here. That didn't sound like somebody that was planning on being there forever. And I mean, I get that. That's when you hire coaches, they're great,
and they're both great coaches. But, it's like, I don't want to sound off the alarm, but, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he said, mark my words. He said, DeBoer will be gone to the NFL here in 2 years. And I said, you may be right. I don't know. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. But right now, I love where we're at, and I'm gonna continue to enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm. Something else you'll love is Pearl River Resort, Brett. Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi, celebrating 30 years. Gary Allen, you know him? He's going to be there. Scotty McCrary, do you know him? He's going to be there as well. They're going to be performing. If you spend $50 at the sports book at Golden Moon Casino, you can play Dancing Rabbit Golf Course for just $30. Silver Star, Golden Moon Casino, Philadelphia, Mississippi. They are about an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, pretty close to anywhere from Alabama. You don't have to go all the way out to Vegas to have that Vegas-style sportsbook experience. But, I mean, you're talking about all the games, the NFL going. You can go in there and watch your team, put money down on your team, maybe a parlay. It's just really a fun atmosphere. Big fights. They do the MMA stuff, all that at Pearl River Resort at the sportsbook. So check it out for yourself, guys. The other thing I want to say is, that it's coming. We don't really know when, but we know that Daniel Moore right now is probably going, hey, man, I'm probably going to have to do a picture here. And so, I mean, got the canvas, probably keeping the brushes wet is what he said when I was talking to him last week. So he's probably going to have to keep them wet. Use the promo code Bama Tailgate, newlifeart.com. And you get 20% off your purchase. So pimp out your man cave like I've done and check it out. Pearl River Resort. All right, when we come back, we're going to get Brett on. He's going to tell us what's going on in the world today. So roll tide, everybody, and stay tuned for that right after this.
resort. They call him Big. They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama balls. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XPs, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Did you screw up my intro?
It wouldn't play.
Oh, boy. I tell you what. You just absolutely screwed up the biggest introduction on this show. Look at you, Gillespie. I love you anyway. Today, by the way, is October 1st. Did you know this?
Yeah, I did.
Actor, singer Julie Andrews would have been 89. Didn't she pass away the other day?
I don't know, but how about Pete Rose dying yesterday?
What?
Yeah, how about that?
No, crazy, I did not see that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Charlie Hustle. Yep.
Wow. Oh, man,
Chris Christopherson 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. They come in threes. Things happen.
Uh-oh. Better not leave the house.
Yeah, not me either. Wrap me up in bubble tape, send me out. Actor Randy Quaid is 74 today.
Yeah, we love Randy Quaid. I mean, he's Cousin Eddie's. Any Cousin Eddie reference on here is right up at the top of the list.
That's right. Cousin Eddie is celebrating today. Singer-guitarist Kevin Griffin of Better Than Ezra's 56, the guy I interviewed just the other day. He was in town for the Foothills Festival. He's celebrating a birthday today on the list.
All right.
Let's see. Andrew Dice Clay, I think, was celebrating a birthday as well.
Hickory dickory dock.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to celebrate today is CD player day. Did you have a CD player?
Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, everybody did. Everybody that was alive then had one.
Did you ever join that Columbia House and it's like a penny and you never paid them?
We were talking about this recently too. Like it would BMG, you would get you'd get the catalog and then you'd pick your your records and everything else. And then, I remember those days. They and if you didn't put it in right, they just send you stuff but it would be like pretty popular stuff. So it would be like music I wouldn't really get, but then I'd be like, oh, you know what, man, this is pretty good. Like, could open up your musical horizon.
That's right. Today is National Walk Your Dog Day. You have a great dog, John.
Man, I love John. And I do love John. I love he's got too much fur to walk in the hot weather, but now that things are cooling off, yeah, he'll be back.
All right, let's see what happened this day in history. National Geographic first published this day in 1888.
Yeah, and I mean, thinking about that, like back in the magazine days, like you would do the magazine thing.
The National Geographic, you'd be like,
now we got this thing called the internet. We do it all on here.
What are you talking about, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, like, when's the last time you opened up a magazine?
Oh, I mean, it's been a while, but those National Geographics, you would see naked people in there,
like villagers and stuff.
Yeah, villagers, and it's like, wow, that's how I got exposed to all the corruption of this world. The modern World Series game played this day, 1903.
I don't even know what that means.
The first modern World Series game is played.
Oh, okay. So the way that they start doing it now is Being a Cubs fan, it was pretty good times back then. Cubs were in it a bunch. They lost some, they won 2, and then they didn't win any more until 2016, which is pretty crazy.
Walt Disney World opens in Orlando this day, 1971.
Yeah, how about that? Have you been there? Have you been there?
I've been through there. And oddly enough, I can't remember what it was. I was on a man. This is just how crazy I am. I was on a bus, and I was in Orlando for a ball game, I believe, and then we took a detour or something and went through the gates. I don't know. It was hell, who knows? I don't know what I was doing. But yeah, I've been by there, and it seems like I've been through there.
Yeah.
But anyway, ESPN becomes the largest cable network, reaching 28.5 million homes this day, 1983.
It was so good when it started, and then they messed it up, in my opinion. I feel like I was watching CNN instead of ESPN, and now I just watch the games when they're on. I don't watch any of the other stuff. But there was a time when, I had to watch SportsCenter, and I'd watch it like 3 times a day, man. Like Dan Patrick and Chris Berman and Stuart Scott, and and all them guys. They were so funny and good, and but that was also before the internet too. That was where you got all your sports news.
Yeah, that's right. And then finally, this day in 2013, author Tom Clancy passed away at the age of 66. I remember he was one of my dad's favorite authors.
Mm-hmm.
He did The Hunt for Red October and all those great novels, and
great writer, suspense writer. Not a book that you put in the bathroom. This is something that you read, and you better be ready to read, because it's going to be a lot of words in there. But they've turned some of these into movies, and they actually turned out to be really good movies as well.
Do you have any magazines or books in your bathroom?
From time to time, I'll put something in there. Like if it's something that I want to read, I'll put it in there, but I don't have a lot of time. It's got to be pretty easy reading. So the answer right now is no, but I have before. Okay. How about you?
All right, very good. No, I don't have anything in there. I don't read in there. I have too many things to do.
Hey guys, get in the comment section. I don't even want to know.
Hey. I know, and you haven't told people. I know you're looking forward to Nashville.
I'm excited about it, and I can't wait. Like, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be at Live Oak. Yep. I can't wait to go up there. I'm going to bring some Brett Show stickers. Then I'm going to have a kissing booth on the other side of the bar. It's going to be great. I've got a lot of plans.
That's going to be fun, man. All right, well, roll Tide, pal.
Roll Tide, my friend.